You got any changes? I've got one change I want to do, but y'all go ahead and look. We got Alex. He's going to talk to us tonight about this the CARES Act money, the money we've got, and he wants to talk to us a little bit about it. It might be something we want to put on the consent agenda. That's we'll.
Mr. Chairman, could
Okay.
I request the abandonment of Lost Care Lane?
Okay.
Lane.
All right. You got that, Beck? Okay. All right. Okay, that's on to any other changes? No. Okay. All right. Good enough. All right. Okay, everyone had time to look at our previous minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody on board with that? Okay. All right. All right, before we go to board appointments, and we got something we're going to do tonight. We got, Don has been out for a while, with his wife and all, and we've got him here tonight just for a few minutes because he sure don't want to be exposed and take that back home. But we got a little thing here we want to present to Don tonight. We got people from all over, believe it or not, all over the state of Georgia watching this work session tonight because of Don, and he don't know anything about this. But Don was actually voted Clerk of the Year for the whole state of Georgia. And he don't know that. It's pretty big award, I tell you. This is good. This is a special thing right here. Not everybody gets this. But it just says presented to Patrick Don Townsend, Jr., Clerk of the Year of 2020 for outstanding performance and professionalism in government, Dade County, Georgia. So it's a big deal, Normally this is actually awarded at the convention in Savannah that you go to every year. This was actually right before COVID. Well, we didn't have it, but it was right when it started. And so they did make your choice. They didn't know really what they were going to do as far as presenting it to him, so they sent it up here to us. And we was trying to do it at other meetings, but the COVID's been so bad, it was kind of uncomfortable, especially for you. And now you got a little breathing time here, so we just want to do this, okay? And we just everybody appreciate you and all the work you do and all, and we're just proud of you, okay? All right. Yeah. I'll hold the mic for you.
Yeah, so let's try to social distance, right?
Yeah.
It's good to be back in this room. I left on May 1st to take care of my wife and Lisa, and it's been a hard go at it, But I appreciate Rebecca greatly. I've leaned on her and Carrie Anderson and Mary and Sherry and Melissa and everyone in the whole dang gang, But also since we got other clerks watching, I love my clerks. There's not many male clerks, so they've kind of adopted me and taken me in over the last 13 years. But I appreciate all the clerks across the state of Georgia, and I thank you for this honor. And I'm very appreciative I'm so thankful. One, to be able to work in Dade County, It's just an honor to work in Dade County. But to work for this Board of Commissioners, I really, truly am grateful and very thankful. Ted's just an awesome person to work with, and
$20 before this.
He did. I did.
Turn that in on my phone.
But everyone, all the commissioners, I'm just very thankful. Y'all have been very helpful, and all the prayers from all the people in Dade County. We've got people praying around the world, we've heard, so the entire globe, and we appreciate that. Lisa is fighting in the fight of her life, and I don't know anyone in this room that's not been touched by cancer, but it's just something that just continue to pray for her and me, and we thank you, and we thank the clerks and the ACCG and the Georgia Clerks Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. There's some letters that were sent today with some of the clerks throughout the state of Georgia. Wow. Thank you. So let's give him one. You don't take this week, take that, put it with you, whatever. See you, Don.
Mr. Chairman, that is out of 159 counties.
That's right. That is right. Okay. Let's move down to board appointments and proclamations. 4A, this is actually, I did go over the personnel status, we'll go back to that, but the Purple Heart Day is, through the American Legion is August the 7th. That's something we've done several years here in a row. Everyone fine with that? Put it on the consent agenda? Okay. All right. Now on our board appointments to our heavy industry and special use permit board, has anyone got any positives on that? I've talked to 3 different people of my own that said they would not serve on it, didn't want it, to do that. I had one I thought possibly would today, but he didn't said he wouldn't do it.
Mr. Chairman, I talked with David Young, who served on the first forum committee.
Okay.
And lives in Rising Pond, and property in Rising Pond, and he said he would be willing to serve.
All right, good. That's one more we got. One more down. You got anybody there that you
I've got 3 people I'm working with, and I'm trying to get convinced that that's what they need to do.
Okay. Alan, you
I've
got?
got, I don't know if I can do this, but it's my nephew, Chris Bradford, said he would be glad to do that and work on that, but let me talk to him a little bit more, make sure that we're getting everything.
So you want to be sure before we put him on?
Yes, but I think he'll take it. I'm sure he will.
Well, by next meeting, then
Yeah.
we need to wrap it up by the next meeting and have this board together. So we'll go ahead and if everyone's fine with it, we'll do David Young. That'll be two members on it. So if you want to put that on the consent agenda, okay. All right. All right, let's move down to, let's go back to review of personnel status. Y'all can look that over. Not been any great changes. We have picked up one down at the park. I know Stacy filled a slot down there. And Billy, I think we had one, I think that was before our last meeting, though. There's not been a tremendous amount of changes at all. Yep, 9/11. One, you lost 2? 1. So you're looking, okay, for enough, okay. All right, that's in 911. All right. Any questions? Okay. All right, move down to number 5. Any splosh or capital equipment approvals, that's not any tonight. Number 6, this is the RFP results, countywide property reassessment and evaluation. Paula Duval, she's here tonight. She's our chief appraiser for the tax office.
We did send out an RFP because this is a large amount of money to advertise, and we had it set out there for 2 weeks. It was on the county website, it was on our website, we had applications in the commission office and in our office. But after all those 2 weeks, we got one bid. And this is the company that started our work last year, that we had working with us last year. So I'm pleased with it. I'm, perfectly fine with who did put in their bid. Their bid came in at $68,500, so that is a little below the $75,000 we were anticipating. So I feel very confident with this company. I have nothing negative to say about them, and I think they'll do us a really great job. They did our last year when we changed the dollar per square foot and the base area. All the changes we made last year, they were the company that we used when we did our digest review last year. So, and Terry McCormick, who is the CEO of this company, is very familiar with this county. He and another gentleman would come almost every year and help us with our digest. So he's familiar with the county. He knows all of us in the office. So I feel very confident that he'll do a really good job for us.
And you've got till when to have that done?
Well, my requirement was by the 2021 digest. So by May of next year, when we send out assessment notices, it should be complete. And that's in their proposal, that they will have all that completed by the time assessment notices are mailed out.
Okay. All right. All right. That's good. Any questions for her now? All right. Thank you. Before you leave, I got one. Mr. Moore here has got a question. You want to come on up, Walter, while you're here? That way you want to, she just, he's got a question that he wants to talk about, and you may want to talk to him in the office, but he's just got some concerns, and while you're here, we'll,
My name's Walter Moore. I just...
Turn around here where we can see you.
Oh, well, I'm
Talk now.
on her. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I told you, don't get nervous that we're here. We're all from here and just tell us what's on your mind. That's what,
Well, I got a house up on Bluff,
Yeah.
well, actually 3 of them, but my taxes on one house in particular, and I don't have my numbers straight, but my value went up over $100,000 in this last tax session. I've done nothing to improve my house
Yeah.
and I've got 2 other houses that, one of them is really just went downhill. I mean, and the value, I know I'm paying over $500 a month taxes. I mean, I don't really know exactly what I'm paying, but now with all this other increase,
yeah.
and I guess I'm just concerned why it went up and where our money's going.
But your appraisal went up, right?
My
That's what-
appraisal,
yeah, your
right, not my
appraisal.
taxes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
your
my appraisal. So, I mean, if appraisal goes up, taxes go up, don't they?
Yeah. Paul, what you got on, I mean, can you comment on that tonight? I mean, exactly, I know you probably don't know the parcel or whatever.
That's what we was pulling up. He's got 3 parcels on the ground.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I would have to see everything, look on our computer system to see what exactly changed, what increased. But you did have 45 days when we sent you that assessment notice to come in and appeal that and to, disagree with that value. But we received no appeal, so.
Well, that's probably
We
true.
didn't make any change anyway.
Is it the new house, belongs to the new
Yeah,
house?
the license, right,
Yeah, 19, it was 235.
right now it's what, 300 and,
330, 800.
So you added a new house, is that?
well, I just bought another house and moved in it. I mean, but, and the one house, I mean, how about the first one at 2470? I mean, that house is, the roof's about to fall in on, I just bought it, had it. So I'd be particular who my neighbors was, I guess, but anyway, I mean, the value even went on it, and it's,
But we don't know that if you don't come and tell us.
well, I mean,
we
y'all
know
come
every
up and
3
appraise
years,
it,
but-
somebody should,
But it's also your responsibility, when you get your assessment notice and you see your value, that is the time you come in and say.
well, I'm out working from daylight to dark, trying to pay the taxes, I guess.
We're happy to send you the appeal form or anything like that, but anytime, come in and talk.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Won't you just come down in the morning, go back there and sit down and talk to her, and y'all look it over and see what's going on, That's the only way to do it, get the numbers and look at it,
And it doesn't have to change, but you look at it and see what the reason.
and see just exactly what, $100,000 is a lot of money. I mean, to go up
It is, I mean,
one
for the
way.
value to go up, I've done nothing but live in it,
Yeah.
I mean, mow the grass, but.
Yeah, yeah.
When we went to square footage, Paula,
I'm sorry?
when we went to square footage, basically what it done, the reason it went up so much is we was at $60 a square foot, and then we went to like $80 a square foot. Is that what?
85.
So what they done is they took,
Part of it, but I couldn't really know.
Right.
Yeah.
There's 3 houses on there, and all 3 of them, increased because of that dollar per square foot, and yeah, it's possible.
Can you do that, you gonna do it Monday, or you gonna do it tomorrow?
Monday or something, I
Well,
can't,
just say Monday, because you'll be here, I know, Monday, and just come in there and we'll go back there and sit down and look and see, get an answer, see what, I don't know, but she's got the numbers and she's got comparisons and all, she can look at or whatever, and just see. Okay, yeah,
but it's not going to do any good this year. Well, might well keep working, no.
yeah,
But, and I got one other complaint.
okay, thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Economic development. What we got to do to get out of it in our county?
Well,
Tax dollars get spent on it, and I mean, if somebody can show me what economic development.
what you're talking about is a joint development authority. That's the one in Walker County that actually we're a member of. Economic development, our Dade economic development, that's different. That's our county. I mean, that's people. But you're talking about the JDA.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's something that would take a majority of the commission, to vote to pull out. What we get for a benefit, over the years, they promote the county. Supposedly they promote the county throughout the United States, throughout the world. The tax incentives that we get from for the people that work at the plants down here, and for the incentives, for the the state would not do that unless we are part of an industrial a joint development authority. They won't count our development authority. It's got to be a multi-county, and that's something that if the commission wants to look at, of course, we're in it till after the first of the year anyway. I mean, but if that's something that they want to explore, we've looked at it before. And we said, okay, what have you done for us this year? What have you done for us in the last 2 years? and they come and lay it out, and then we can make that decision, you know.
Well, I mean, I really wasn't aware of it, and I'm sure a lot of the people in our community not aware of it either till the election. I mean, y'all know how I become aware of it, but still, I found out a lot of facts I didn't like.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something we can do. I mean, that's not, you know, you need to reevaluate every so often anyway, about every 2 years or so, you know. Actually, we've asked them to come at least 4 times a year, every quarter, and give us a report of what they're doing. And he's due this is August, be our next meeting.
Yeah.
So if you want to come back, and we'll have people in the room here and to talk about it, and they can lay it on the line, just what have they done for Dade County in the past year, okay?
All right.
All right.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming down, okay?
Appreciate y'all letting me talk.
All right.
Thank you.
And the reason I went ahead and brought Walter on up here because Paula's she's going to leave, and I wanted her to be here to answer his question. Normally, what we'll do on this is down at the bottom we'll have have people talk, you know. But I didn't want her to get away because she probably had answered his questions.
Fine.
I didn't know what time that he was going to come in, Walter, you know. But all right, she answered the questions on this, or actually gave us extra information on 6. Number 7, the 2020 Census Complete Count Committee update. Ms. Carrie Anderson, if you'll do that for us, I appreciate it.
I hope you can all see this. It says Census 2020. Does everybody see it? And we've also got up some banners for those of you who need reminders to do your census. So we need everybody to be counted in Dade County. I'm going to show you this, and I hope that Patrick and Alex can kind of get a photo of this, a close-up of this. You can also find this on our website at www.dadecounty-ga.gov. This is how to complete your census. For those of you who do not know this thing right here is called a QR code. Josh Engel, who is a member of our Complete Count Committee, got that for us. If you will hold your phone up to this, it will, just using your camera, take you exactly to the right page where you need to go to fill out your census. It doesn't get any easier than that. So just click the QR code, go do your census. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes, depends on how many people you have living in your home. If you don't have a smartphone or a computer like these that we have, you can also call this number right here on the front. It's 1-844-330-2020. You can just complete your census on the phone. So if you have a landline, pick it up, pick up your handset, call that number, 1-844-330-2020, and complete your census. So a few of the things that we're doing to try to get people to help make Dade count, we're trying to give updates once a week. We do a Dade County weekly update at 3 o'clock where we talk about county business. On that update, we have also spoken about the census and how important it is to do the census. And here are a few of the reasons that it is important to do the census. The census is done every 10 years, and it's only done every 10 years, which means it is planning 10 years in the future. So this census will affect us all the way to 2030. So think about all the growth that could happen in Dade County in 10 years. And if we don't have adequate numbers in the census, we're not going to get the kind of funding from the federal government needed to sustain that growth and to help that growth. Some of the things that census money is used for are things like grants for our teachers. So if you are a big supporter of teachers, make sure to fill out your census. It helps them get grants for continuing education. It helps with things like roads and bridges, federal grants, emergency aid and supplies, Medicaid, SNAP. So these are all things that will be affected by the census. Another really, really great reason to do the census is it's in the Constitution, Article 1 of the Constitution. So that's a very important thing that our forefathers thought to put in there just for us to do the census to be counted. So please, please use this fancy QR code that Josh Engel with the Dade County School System got for us, or call this number, 844-330-2020, to do that. Also on the screens, if you can see up front or in the back of the room, this is our website, dadecounty-ga.gov. This is our Census 2020 page, so it has all the information that you might need for the census. So if you have not been able to write this down, you can always check it out on our webpage. Our website, we also share it on social media. So if you have any questions, you can call me directly at 423-290-6655. If you need help filling out the census, you'd like to do it online on a computer, but you need help, we ask you to go to the Dade County Public Library, where Marshanna Sharp will be more than happy to help you fill out your census. We also have some free census swag like this, and some of our commissioners have Census 2020 cups and hand sanitizer up there, so we have some goodie bags that you can have if you fill your census out online. So for questions, go to the library or give me a call. Thank you so much.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, I got not for you to talk about the door-to-door that's going to start.
Yes.
And maybe you send us a picture of what they will look like.
That's true. So thank you for reminding me about that. I should have mentioned that. So beginning initially, the census was supposed to have been completed April the 1st. With COVID, that changed. They gave us a timeline of October 31st to complete the census. They have rolled that back. The final date now for the census to be complete is September the 30th. So we are at 52.8%. And I'm really, really happy. I'm going to do a little cheerleader moment. I'm very happy we've gone up by over 1% in 1 week of participation in the Dade County area. So we're very happy about that. But we're at 52.2%. Another thing the census said, because of COVID-19, they were not going to send census takers door to door. And as recently as last month, they were saying we will not be sending people door to door. When they rolled back the date from October 31st, they changed it to September 30th. They decided to go ahead and put census takers in the field. So on our social media page, we shared a picture of what those census takers should look like. They have a bag. Let me see if I can just pull it up for you. On our Facebook page, which is Dade County, Georgia, all spelled out, you can be notified when we go live or when we're doing something. So let me see if I can find that post for you. And, well, it's not coming up. Rebecca, are you on there? I don't think you are. Let me see if I can find it. I just shared it this morning. If you see it, feel free to share it, or anyway. The people that you will see have bags that say census taker. So they'll have a census taker bag on there. They will have a device with them like this. It may on the back have something that says census taker as well. They'll have a badge like this. This is just a lariat that they gave me as a volunteer, but they'll have something that says U.S. Census Bureau. They will have a tag. Please, if you feel uncomfortable, ask for their identification. They should be clearly identifiable. They will be in the field going door to door, and they will begin that this Saturday, August the 8th. So that's 2 days away. So if you've had somebody at your house before now claiming to be a census taker, they're not. They're not. Now, the Census Bureau does partner with other survey companies, so always ask to see credentials. If you have any questions, call the Sheriff's Department or the Police Department. They are aware that there are census takers who will be in the field this weekend and from here until September 30th. So please know that they will be there. Let's see if we can find it here.
Are they census takers, are they local people, or are they brought in from somewhere else?
Some of them are, some of them are not. Aha, Jennifer found it for us. Thank you, Jennifer, and I found it at the same time. So here we are. I don't know if you guys can see this, Alex and Patrick, but it is on our Dade County, Georgia Facebook page. So I'm going to walk it over a little bit so you guys can see what it looks like. Can you see that? I know it's tiny, but that's what it looks like. So they will be clearly identifiable. So if you have any questions, call the local police. They'll know. But they will also be masked. So, but here's the easy thing. If you don't want somebody coming to your house, fill it out online. So if you don't want somebody coming, to your door, to knock on your door, call the number 1-844-330-2020 or go online and fill it out, okay? Call with questions. Do you guys have any more questions?
No, I don't. Okay.
Thanks.
I read something over there.
It was 8 to 5, wasn't it? 8 to 5, what I saw.
Then I heard, then I read something on the news site that said they were gonna be offered extra incentives, longer hours, trying to get this to be popular.
It does not say the hours in here. I'm sure they will set those, but just so you know, will they be local people? Sort of local. Typically what they do is they'll train people in the Northwest region, so people from Dade, Chattooga, Floyd. I think Alex McAlpin, who does all the video for KWIN, he's going to be one of the census takers. He just went through training. So there's a very likely chance that you'll know who's coming to your door. So, thank you.
All right. Good report. All right, let's move down to number 8. This is the ordinance 07-02-20. This is the amending the ABC ordinance to permit Sunday package sales. We have actually 8 and 9, but that's now, Robin, is this the final reading?
This is
the final reading. Okay, everybody fine with that? Number 8. Okay. Number 9, this is ordinance 08-06-20, and this is amending ABC ordinance to permit Sunday sales of alcohol beverages for on-premises consumption. So this is a final reading. Everybody fine with that? Okay. All right. And as I want to point out, this was voted on by the voters and passed by a big margin of voters here. And this is a process we have to go through to legally make this binding. So that's what and this is the final reading. All right, let's move down to,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
If I can ask you, maybe do you know, Robin, if the alcohol board is set for this, when they're set for it to begin, like will it be Sunday or?
No,
We're going to be asked when it's going to start.
No, I've spoken with
Good question.
Clerk, and I understand, is she here? No, and I understand that what they're going to do is that they've already issued licenses prior to these 2 ordinances, and they're going to just allow those holding those licenses to go ahead and go forward. So I think it happens immediately.
Sunday.
Yes, Sunday, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. Does that answer your question, Devin? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just know we're going to probably be asked by some.
True.
When it's going to start now that it's been done.
No, I had asked whether they intended to issue new licenses for the Sunday sales, and they had indicated to me they were not. They were just going to go with what they have.
Okay. All right. Let's move down to the number 10. This is the amendment of our local timber ordinance to codify state law updates made by the General Assembly. This is something that we just, we look at every so many years, but as the General Assembly does make changes, we blend it in with our local ordinances. Anybody got any questions on that?
The only thing I had, and I talked to Robin about it, was they're only giving a $5,000 bond, and they left $10,000 worth of mess on the side of the mountain here about 4 or 5 months ago. But he says we can't change it. I guess that's a state mandate as far as timber's concerned.
It is the state statute that was amended. It the provision said that the local ordinances shall conform to and shall not exceed the state statute. So we're kind of stuck with what the state gives us. We are allowed to file suit against them and try to seek additional money from them through litigation. But as far as the bonding required on the front end, we're stuck with $5,000.
And if we've had trouble out of them before, isn't there something in there now that says we?
If the $5,000 bond that they previously posted has been withdrawn, you can increase it to, I think, 10, and it goes up from there.
I know they left a huge mess out there, and I think everybody knows that and saw it. And I paid 2 kids to go in there and cut up some of the wood, to make it look better. But it's a shame that they didn't clean that mess up.
So pretty much what we're voting strictly on the state General Assembly, what they have added to this.
Yes, although tonight what I would suggest is the way that the statute was written, there were some provisions that went into effect immediately upon the governor's signing, which I think was on July the 26th. Most of the provisions go into effect in October. So what I would suggest, honestly, is that we take this up for first reading in September and then for second reading in October when the statutory provisions and amendments go into effect. So
Okay.
I don't, there's nothing that's really required on it tonight.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
My question is, I'm back on here, so this is the state's ordinance and we just copying it?
State statute, yes.
Because G, H, and I, you know,
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
on this here,
Right.
you go back here on 51-07 and then G, H, and I. I mean, who's going to determine, who sets them rules or who's the determining factor in that?
I'm not sure I know what GH, are you looking at our current ordinance or the new state statute?
This one that's in here.
Let me see.
You got it?
Oh,
CD 51.
yeah. So what I've done is I have circulated around a proposed initial amendment to those. Be sure that you have those. But talking about GH and I, is that a particular provision? Such, yeah, that section's been rewritten, I've got to say.
It's been rewritten? Okay. I had issues with that, so, okay.
Any other questions?
But anything like that, it has to be like that with our code enforcement officer, people like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still feel like that's overstepping our bounds.
It may have changed.
Right, so, okay.
All right. Let's move down to number 11. This is historic monuments and marker protection. Lamar, your name's on this. You got anything to add to it?
Robin has, the state assembly passed a to protect
Talk in your mouth. I don't believe I'm out here.
the state assembly.
You know?
Must not be on.
The state assembly, they passed a law on protecting statues and monuments. So this is going to be kind of like the same thing with the timber ordinance. We'll probably pass on it this week and this month. And then in September, we'll have our first reading and
And
our
adopt it.
second reading to bring it up to the standard.
Okay.
And it's basically still going to be a misdemeanor, which me and Alan both talked about. We're not happy about it, but the
Yeah.
timber ordinance, we can't go above and beyond.
Yeah.
But there is a provision in there that if destruction is done to any monument or statue, that you can get 3 times the recovery of what it costs.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe it'll help.
All right. So there's really no movement tonight. We'll just, okay.
No.
But we'll address it in September and October.
Go into effect in October.
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all would take a look at that as well, I'd email it around as well to see if there's provisions that you want that are outside of the statute, and we'll discuss those. Let me know, and I'll discuss those with you, see if there's something that we can do if we're preempted by the state statute.
Okay.
If I turn it into a felony, you know that that's.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move down to number 12. This is, we've talked about this the last couple of meetings, and we've got some things that's been put together that y'all can look at between now and the next meeting as far as, the timeline and all. I mean, we can go ahead, like tonight, let Walter talk, but we got to have something in writing as far as the time goes, 3 minutes or whatever, and she'll give you some stuff here maybe tomorrow, and you can look at it between now and our next meeting, and we should be able to adopt the guidelines and the rules. You wouldn't think it'd take that long, but you need to really look at it, because every county, most counties don't have it, but the ones that do, it's pretty simple, but you've got to set guidelines in case you've got a really big a project going or something. Say you got 50 people here want to talk to you, it could take the time up to this work session. We could be here like that. Somewhere they had a 7-hour meeting the other day. Chattanooga. So we're not going to go there. But it's going to address that and just be fair to the people and unfair to the time. So anyway, that's what that is. So if y'all get that, look it over in the next few weeks, and if you want changes and doctorate or whatever, and get a hold of Beck or myself or Robin, and we can change that. Anything you want to add on that, Philip, or any of you? I mean, it is. Move down to number 13. This is just an announcement of our special call meeting. It'll be on Tuesday, August the 18th, 2020 at 5 o'clock. This is pertaining to a resolution R-26-20. That's for the collection of the tax for the school board. They should have everything taken care of on their tax, the millage rate by then. And what we will be either approving or not approving would be the collection of that. Ms. Moreland collects it for the school system, and we have to agree to do that. So that's what that is. It'll be a 5-minute meeting probably, or 10-minute. Normally, we've already taken care of this at our meeting that we had last week, our special call. We would have our meeting 6:30. They had theirs at 6, and we would adopt our millage rate, which we did. And they would come in behind us. But this year, they're going through the process of taking the growth. They're showing us an increase in the collection of the taxes, so they had to advertise a tax increase. So, we did not. In fact, our millage rate, we went down on our millage rate a little bit. Knock on wood, thank goodness for that. But so that's what this special meeting is all about. And everyone's invited. It's an open meeting, so that's what it is. Y'all got any questions on that? I know all y'all are on board with it. With knowing, okay. All right, let's move down here. Robin, we've got the Wildwood, the hospital lifestyle lane that we talked about. We all agreed on the pretty much on the abandonment. What have you got on that for?
So the first step in the process is the determination by this board that the road is no longer needed for a public purpose, and that it's in public interest that it be abandoned. And so I would ask for a motion for that, or tonight.
Okay.
Once we do that, the next steps are that we send a certified letter to the adjoining landowners. We publish it in the newspaper for 2 weeks, a public hearing for 2 weeks, and then we have a public hearing and then a vote to actually abandon the property. So because it has to go in the newspaper for 2 weeks, we may want to have the public hearing 5:45 or whatever prior to our September meeting.
That'd be good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we can get it in time for the other hearing. I looked at that, but I don't think we can do that.
No.
So
Okay.
that'd be my suggestion to you. But we do need to vote tonight to say that it's no longer used for public.
We'll do that. Can we do that on the consent agenda, or you want to take an open vote, or how you?
I think we can do it on the consent
Yeah,
agenda.
because that road does not go anywhere, but they're,
Correct.
the adjoining landowners is a mile away probably. I mean, they own a lot of land. It goes right to the, it really does not serve us at all. Except for that one building, the hospital, so.
That's correct.
And they're asking, because, and the reason being, if you wondering why they wanting to take it over, they have had a lot of issues with people coming in and out up there at night, and doing some crazy things, and they've had a lot of things stolen in the last 6 months. And by rights, that's a government road. They can't stop them and tell them, hey, or can't even question them, what are you doing here, And it goes directly into the hospital now. So I can see their point, and I know Lamar, he's been on board with it. He's been talked to him and all. So, well, that's what we'll do then, tonight. Just you want to go ahead and put it, if everybody's fine with it, we'll put it on the consent agenda.
Good.
Okay, all right. Alex, you want to come on up and go over this quick with us?
Add one thing real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Chris just texted me and said he would accept that position, special use permit.
All right, go ahead and put him back on the Chris
Yeah.
Bradford, for the Lookout Mountain post, That's two down. Three, really.
You got,
Yeah, Allen Townsend's already on there.
Yep, we've already,
Right. Thank you, Commissioner, for letting us come up. And as you all know, we were awarded a letter, or were given a letter, all city and county leaders, mayors and executives, of the COVID CARES Act funding that can be returned for use of COVID supplies, enhancements to our county to protect several things.
Alex, tell everybody out there that's listening, because a lot of people, tell them where this money come from originally. It's federal, and it comes.
It's all federal money.
Yeah.
The U.S., our federal government issued money to each state to pick up from March 1st when COVID started, and they're going till December the 30th. And there's expenses that we have expensed to date. At the end of July, Rebecca, myself, have been working diligently with this portal system that they're with, and we're getting all of our everything we personally buy besides our day-to-day budget. To date, we're about $43,000 out of part of 19 or part of 20 and going into 21 budget. As of July, we were $43,000 of that budget. So we got part of the month in our new budget. So we've got to look at this. The money helps us reimburse that. We've actually got two grants. We've got a federal declaration through GEMA through emergency management that we were awarded. And then we got the CARES Act funding that we can get procurements and fix facilities. If you've been in our commission office, city hall, any of these things, you're going to see these spit guard protectors. You're going to see tables and chairs and plants where we're blocking the free flow into these facilities. That is a allowable expense of the CARES Act funding. Dade County was awarded $731,035 to be used by December 30th.
And that's straight grant money, that's not matching.
Straight grant.
That's straight grant, but we've got to get on the ball here. That's what he's going to explain to you now.
The first 30%, $219,311, has to be obligated or spent by the end of this month.
That's right.
September 1. As me and Carrie sat through the hour and 40-minute training session, both of us at different times getting these, there are specific guidelines that is set aside by the grant. Necessary expenditures incurred due to public health emergency with respect to the COVID-19. We're not accountable for the budget most recently approved as of March 20. And then the period is from March 1, 20 till December 30, 20. Expenses can be emergency medical expenses, including emergency medical transports related to COVID, expenses, acquisition, distribution of medical protective supplies, including sanitation products, personal protective equipment for medical, fire, law enforcement, and other things. Expenses for disinfected public use areas, and we got a lot of them. Courts facility is a big one that we got some issues here.
Library.
Currently, we're in voting. We go voting next week. A lot of these tables you see and these things that we see here are that we expense throughout. Now, some through the Secretary of State had funding that was purchased on another grant, so $3,000. So Lawana and us have been working, and we split that different ways. Again, we got different account codes that's counting for that in response to the COVID public health emergencies. Expenses for technical assistance and local authorities to enter into mitigation of the COVID-19. How do we mitigate that? We've got our county commission office that's wide open. We want to mitigate that free flow. We've got every office in the court facility. Once you meet through security, all the offices in there, you just walk in and go. We've got temporary measures where there's glasses have been replaced in the front, and they've got the little work hose just like these spit shields, and you talk through that. So we're looking at putting lobbies and stuff throughout there to help do that. Expenses for public safety measures undertaken. That's where some of that money that we're looking at to do. And then payroll. Currently for payroll, and in July, for the people that showed symptoms, was told to go home based on the CDC guidelines of COVID. The quarantine time, we're around 16,000 right now. That was the last estimate, or that's a rough estimate from what Mary has pulled from her payroll, and we're working to get that in. We have to have highlight the areas because it could be 2 different checks of the week. It could be the whole pay period because we're on 2-week periods. We got to work through all that. There's a lot of work, as Don mentioned, the ladies in the office and us. We're working heavily to get this stuff in. But again, we got a deadline on CARES by the end of this month, and the other one that goes till the end of the year. But the CARES also goes to the end of the year. The 70%. After the 30%, we have to submit in for approval based on these guidelines. Expenses, telework improvement capabilities for public employees enable compliance with the COVID. That was something we didn't have a lot of. We made purchases, as last month I presented, we purchased laptops way ago. They luckily had come in mid of this, and we was able to do some things. Same thing with Don. We sent him home with one and done that, and the ones that have worked from home are doing, but we got to have some more stuff to securely allow them. One of the things is our phones. If we leave our numbers up, our current phone system will not allow that. We're looking at upgrade to do that, and that will qualify to upgrade our phone system to advanced teleworking outside of our facilities.
But what you're here tonight asking us, I know that this is all informative and this is stuff you can give everybody, but just tell us.
But since the timeline is so tight, we've got to move. We have currently worked on the expenses and things that we need to do for the improvements of the safety of this county and the public our employees. We'd like approval that as long as it's approved in the CARES Act portal, that Ted, myself, Robert was there one day we discussed, and Rebecca, once things come up, we're going to have to move quickly, or we're going to have to come back and have a meeting every week on approvals of stuff. We started Monday with contractors looking at this stuff. We have to have it spent or obligated. Obligated could be the contract signed by Ted on this to be done. So we've got to move quickly in that we update you of what the projects are and what the estimates are, where we go that meets these criterias.
So you're asking for like you, myself, and Robert, and,
Or if any one of the commissioners, I know we have to watch the
well, we can't
sunshine.
have three, and, you know.
Yeah, I know, but if they,
Yeah, I mean,
whatever, at least two commissioners, or one commissioner and yourself, and then with me and Rebecca, because we're, she's our bean counter. This money is deposited in our account right now. It was last Friday, it hit our bank account before we can
but
spend.
we've got to prove that we've got to show that we can obligate to. If not, you got to send it back. And it's, and that's nothing to do with our property tax or anything. This is money this is a win-win here.
So
But
again-
they put such stipulations on it and the timeline, it makes you wonder if they really don't, well, a lot of these counties are really squirming. I mean, because, that deadline, and they've already said they're going to hold us to it. If you go over midnight, that's it.
There were some questions sent out today at 4:48 from ACCG, Beth Brown. We were all carbon in it, of guidelines, questions, and funding for this eligibility. And also Governor Kip had Senate Bill 359 that he passed yesterday that Robin has got to look at that section of it, so we may be able to post some signs in our buildings that will take some of the liability. It was the COVID-19 liability, Senate Bill 359. But it's either that or we're going to have a lot of special called meetings, a lot. And we've got to get some obligation and contract pricing. We've got 4 or 5 companies working diligently to get us some pricing. We're trying to strike them pretty quick, but we have to follow our financial procurement process of the process from 250 to 10,000, 10,000 to and beyond up to 20, and then where you can get 3 written quotes, 3 verbal quotes, or if it's so much, you got to go out for RFP. And we don't have a lot of time to RFP. We have to build the projects. So the courts facility is a project. This is a project. Administration builds a project. Library is a project. Senior building's a project when it gets back open. Other things that we're doing, all that, everything for teleworking and all. But it's once we submit it, get the pricing, we ship it up to submit. The analysts for the state Department of Treasury that's assigned to our group will say approve, go, or no. So we have to submit the bids, our procurement process, which is around 18 pages now, our financial policy, and highlight which areas we are based on the totals. So I guess Rebecca can admit it's a lot, and we've got to move quickly to secure this funding. And the few projects we talked about, these lobbies, and we got to worry about ceiling tile, HVAC, electrical, things like that we're not thinking of. We got contractors in here now giving us some pricing. So right now, with the processes without some of the facial and wrist recognition of temperatures to be accessed in the facility. If you've been in our courts facility, the court security is not away from the public. You walk right beside them. We're going to enclose that. And we're using an aluminum storefront to make the building and the offices look very nice. Nothing cheap, or that will be approved. We want it to make it look nice because this will be here forever. So we're close to $102,000 right now of this 219 from preliminary pricing. I say very preliminary, estimated what they told me. Until it's in paper, then we can revisit it. And then we get the contracts and all that. So
you understand, I'm going to go around the table. You understand what he's asking?
Yeah, I'm in the consensus of allowing the chairman to make approve whatever he needs to on this. Cares.
Do you understand, Philip, what we...
All right, so I think I do, but so the citizens understand, what you're saying is we got a $200-something thousand grant from the federal government that it's not a match, it's a 100% grant. You're asking us to give Chairman Rumney or one other commissioner to be able to look at something and go ahead and approve bids to where we don't have to come back in special call meetings every week to get this done, because we have a short time frame.
we have a short time frame for the first 30%, and then
Right.
we got the other 70% from September to December.
Okay.
That'll be approved on a per application basis of what we do, but we're going to have to act
But
fast.
before we spend the money, it has to go through their process and get approved, and then we can spend it.
It has to meet our finance policy.
Right.
I think it's page 5, section, I can't remember what it was. And then they have to approve it as the Department of Treasury of Georgia analysts. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, it's gonna be more than just he and I involved. Becca,
I'm just
it's
saying
a
that-
group of people here. It's,
Right.
I mean.
We're
we've got to-
actually going to all departments. We're looking at portable sanitation devices, ball fields, games, portable ones we can set out during the games they come in,
Yeah.
as they walk up to the concession stands. I've been talking with Stacy, and we got to get out of our mind, but some of this stuff has got to go now.
Exactly.
It has to be, we thought about this stuff in the beginning, but how are we going to pay for it?
That's right.
Then the CARES Act money come out early. We got the appointment January 29th, and they're telling us to have it done by September 1st. We didn't have the money to do a lot of this stuff. What we did of that $44,000 was on declaration, and it's been submitted. So we've got to make some commitments or spent by the end of this month. Now, ACC and GMA are pushing hard to move that back a little bit because we got the money so late. Tons of questions. I've called in several times to ACC and GMA. They take the questions, send it to the Department Treasurer. GMA's getting involved. They've been through some of the training too. Me and Rebecca's minds are running wide open thinking what we can do, because you read it one thing, well, my way's this way and their way may not be that. So we just want to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's and try to get the best for the county in the future if this continues to go. But you think about other sicknesses that it may, just a common cold or the flu, A or B plus COVID, we're looking at, they're still estimating more sickness by the end of the fall when our sick season gets here. Our school's going back as well, and we have the opportunity to help them too, but we got to take care of Dade County first. And that's our biggest amount of people in buildings is our schools. They have had monies for some of their stuff, but this thermal face recognition thing we're looking at, and some seek things that'll do a group of people when they stand in specific areas and let them go. So we got some preliminary pricing on that for them, but we're going to see what we can do.
Robert, do you understand? And-
Yeah, I'm ready to make a motion if that's.
Well, we
I'm
can't make a
asking for the
motion.
consent agenda.
We're gonna put it on the
I was
consent
going to put it
agenda.
on Ted, let him, because he's here all day, every day, and he can make that decision.
Well-
Not have to
Well,
try
it'll
to
be
find-
more, it'll be,
I'd rather make the motion somewhat like this, that we allow Chairman Romney
Yes,
and any one other commissioner who can sit in.
yeah.
If you're here, I'm here every day, and that's the reason, and I know you do
You
that.
sat in with us, yeah.
But if I'm here and Philip comes in and wants to come into here, or any two commissioners, if the chairman is absent for sickness or
Yep.
something, he can't be there, we got it. 'Cause
Well, and we
it's
also,
under the gun.
yeah, we've also bought some stuff for transportation in July, public transportation, a whole shield that covers the driver that they get in and out of in case someone's in there. And another grant come in from that on that public transportation that's going to help fund that whole budget. We usually get half of that, and we budget the other half with sales tax, property tax.
Property tax.
So we're getting some things in and doing for that as well. So really, we're juggling 3 grants of CARES funding, plus the RFP of the storm shelters. So remember, when this money comes in, you're going to start seeing the totals go up. So, public, remember, our budget's not that big. We're getting 700,000 here, 1.2 million in the funding for the, then we get reimbursed 85% of that, and plus the stall thing for the transportation, another 373. So it's going to be a rough audit year for our CPAs.
So do we need to make a motion on that, or
No.
we don't?
No, we
That
didn't.
consent agenda.
Just,
y'all can.
this consent, can't make a motion. We're not in our meeting yet, but this can go on the consent agenda. And
Make a
so that's,
motion.
we got consensus
I
of
know
everybody, so.
those guys work a lot and they're not here, but Robert and I can be here within 10 or 15
Yeah.
minutes if needed.
Well,
But,
I think each one of your departments, as we talk to them, think about things in the future. Our big public areas, our softball season for girls softball's coming up right now, and that's some of the things we're looking at. So we're diligently getting prices, staying with our federal procurement, getting them purchased. Once they approve it, we're going to pay them. So,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Anyone got any other comments on anything? Well, if not, we'll go ahead and.
I think what Robert stated was fine with me.
Yeah, that's good. That way everybody, and so just, I don't know how you're going to word that exactly, but you can handle it, I know. Just do that and put that on the consent agenda. All right, if y'all don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and adjourn the work session. Robin, you got anything else? You got anything?
We did overlook one thing about the veterans part, but then we'll just wait till next month.
You want to mention that? Yeah.
Oh, and can we amend the agenda this late?
Well, we're not going to vote on it anyway.
You can amend the agenda.
Yeah.
Two-thirds approval.
Well, let's go ahead and add that. Everybody.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just.
We talked about the fireman had asked for,
Jerry Kaiser, yep.
Jerry
came in.
Kaiser had asked for a place to put a statue out there on the gazebo area. And we had concerns that had been dedicated to the Veterans Memorial Park. But after what Robin has sent us, the meetings, you and Alan made the motions, and my dad was on the chairman at the time. What he actually said was that would be a asset to our park, the Veterans Memorial, a valuable asset. So after everything's been gathered up, I personally feel like it's not the whole park, it's not the Veterans Memorial Park, it's that section where the monuments are at.
Well, that's the way, well, I was one that made the motion on it back in 2001.
You was?
And what we did was give them that section of pie of that part to let them where the flags are at and actually the monument and everything. And that little section's there, to actually they keep it up, they keep the flags changed, they keep the bricks changed. But the rest of the park is the county, And so that's the way it was, that's originally, that was.
Yeah, we couldn't have no monuments so high, remember, we had to have a height.
Yeah, that meeting actually was in the old building.
Yeah, it was.
It was we didn't even have this building finished, we was working on it, but.
I was there.
Yeah. So that answers that, but that's something we need to think about.
We'll also need to communicate that with our firemen, with Jerry Kaiser, maybe he was heading it up. They'll be under the same restrictions as the veterans were. That it had to be approved, whatever it is they're going to put out there, in case we feel like it's hurting our park instead of.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about the park, if anyone be interested in getting a brick for your relative was in the military, I can get them for $35 now, and you can put 3 different lines on there. They used to be $150, but I found a guy that does them for $35. So anyone interested, just let me know, and we can get your brick put in out there.
Now, does it have to be
Military.
veteran or?
You can put it, if you have a daughter of a veteran, they can put them in, or a son, whatever, a family member.
Because I know I got one out there. My dad's got one out there, just says Commissioner serves from so-and-so.
But anybody that wants one, if you'll get in touch with me, it takes about 2 weeks to get it done, but I just took 4 over there.
Good price on it.
And they're $35 a piece.
Do you want to mention the police, you said something about doing it jointly, you want to look into that?
We had talked about, me and Ted was just brainstorming that the police may want to get in with the firefighters and come up with a police/firefighters memorial.
Firemen and police,
Yeah.
Well, that's something we can talk to Jerry about, and between now and the next meeting, then if y'all are fine with, where he showed us, we don't probably won't, if you don't vote tonight, fine, but we need to know what we're voting on. Maybe he can present us that, exactly what they want to put with that combined, and, and it's easy to see where they want it at.
Yeah, and
we
it's
can
right
make
in
it
the center
official.
of the walkway, so I'd want to see it before.
Yeah, because
we
it's got
approved
to,
it.
okay. So y'all want to do that?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll call Jerry.
And we'll have him come back next meeting, and we'll do, might even do it at our special call or something. I don't know if it's that pushed for him. They might want to do it.
I don't think it's a rush.
It shouldn't be. That's 18th. So
Because I doubt if they got the money.
well, let's go ahead and we'll table it to the next meeting. All right. You got anything else? Okay. We'll go ahead and adjourn our work session here tonight. And if y'all want to take just a minute or so break, we'll come right back in here and we'll start our meeting immediately. Okay.
You didn't go very far.
Do what?
I was looking at Philip.